A special marriage of road and oval racing has, in the past, been monikered as a roval. Tonight, we're calling it Challenging in Miami, as the NARL field literally comes to grips with the low grip and high speed course at Homestead, Miami. We're road racing and oval racing tonight, and anything is bound to happen. Welcome to Pit Stop TV and the virtual Homestead Miami Speedway. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV with Mason Houseman alongside, and it's a pleasure to join you for continuing coverage of NARL GT3 Season Number 7. Tonight's coverage from Miami is brought to you by Muradness, by JS Consulting, and by Screw Compressor Service Incorporated. We join you all from this very special Homestead Miami Speedway, site to so many NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and Craftsman Truck Series finales. It has been host to such good oval racing throughout its long tenured history, longer than I've been alive anyways, long enough to be called a mainstay on the NASCAR schedule. We're here this evening, though, on the road course, Mason, a very special road course, one that's a lot of fun, but admittedly, isn't all that complicated from the top-down view. It's a lot more complicated, though, when you get down on the racetrack.
No, yeah, just look at the picture right now that you have on your screen. It's only a 10-corner track. And looking at a lot of road courses, that doesn't seem like it's difficult. But there's a lot of corners in here that are really fast. The suspension will push in, and it will make it so these cars get a little loose on entry, and then the braking points are super weird. I could promise you, I did a couple laps around here, and this track is harder than it looks.
A lot of challenges for sure around this racetrack. Turn 1 to Turn 2 might be the most challenging part of the course. Then it's really tight and twisty down in 3 and 4, and it's easy to lose grip. As one driver in the North American Racing League Discord put it, this track is made out of seashells, and it's low grip. From the oval to the road course, there is not a lot of grip in the actual asphalt. So these guys are, as I said in the intro, literally coming to grips with it, trying to find any way they can to get a little more grip here and there and have stability through the corners. 3 and 4 will be very interesting for that. Turn 5 should be relatively mellow. Turn 6 is a hard braking zone. Turn 7, you might lose the rear end on exit there, and it happened to be a couple of times in testing. You might lose the rear of the car, especially on cold tires. In Turn 7, it also might be just stepping out just enough where you can kind of catch the car a little bit, do a little flick, but it's going to be tricky on cold tires. We'll see if these guys opt to change tires at their pit stop. Turn 8, another heavy braking zone. Should be an easy acceleration, though, back up onto the back straightaway. Turns 9 and 10 should be right down on that white line on the bottom of the racetrack. That's a bit of a lap around. We'll talk more about that, and of course do the lap around and qualifying with Mason here in a few, but that's a look at this Homestead Miami Speedway. What we got to do now, Mason, is take a look at the point standings coming into tonight, because practice is wrapping up with Yannick Steinhoff back on top. Ken Copeland still leads the standings with a tiebreaker win. He is tied with Adam Brockway, just ahead of Scott Reister, Scott Kimbrough, and Bruce De Carvalho. But look at Yannick Steinhoff. One win at Portugal last week, missed the opening round the week prior at VIR. He is already 16th in the standings, passing guys like Jake Crowder, Mark Reynolds, and Paulo Godai, who was disqualified from last week's event, having been found tire warming in qualifying, which is not allowed in this series. So, watch the 5-car. Yannick Steinhoff will likely be rising through the standings again. He was just fastest in practice. He's going to be one to watch tonight. I think we might be in for another 5-car win. Let's get down to division number 2. And you'll find Nathan Medina on top by 1 point over Mitch Buenaventura and Joshua Lyon. Ismail Elahi, you called it, Mason. He went from way down to the bottom of the standings, somewhere on the right side of the screen, all the way to the left side of the screen in 4th place. He is on the move and one to watch this evening as well. So that's kind of a recap of who to watch here in Divisions 1 and 2. Pretty much the guys who won last week are quick again tonight.
Yeah, that's totally true. And I noticed that Yannick, he is super quick around here. That McLaren looks so smooth around here. And then I was looking at Ismail. You know, he is really close with these Division 1 drivers, and it really shows how much speed he has. But you gotta be careful. You definitely do not want to get promoted, especially midway through the season. But I think he has a good shot of winning here tonight for Division 2.
And we take a quick look at your series schedule. Miami here for round number 3, the final race of March. Next week, April the 3rd, we head out to Le Mans. Then we have a 1-week break, and we come back at Detroit, the street course. That's going to be a challenger for sure. Monza, Atlanta, and Daytona from there to cap off the season. I mentioned qualifying is getting started. Cars are on the racetrack, Mason. Let's take a look down along with these guys, and let's pick a car out. Let's see who's looking good. Kevin Gill just began his lap. Let's go with somebody who's maybe coming around the oval corners. Let's look around a little bit and see if we can find somebody there and give you a proper full lap. Here we go. Jeff Fleischman, he's in a Mercedes. Mason, go.
Okay, going to turn 1 here, you want to be careful on the paint there. You don't want to get loose. Coming into 2, really hard braking. Don't go too wide here. You'll get an off track. Then going into turn 3 here, it's a really weird corner because you don't want to push out too wide, but it's really easy to. And then going into turn 4 here, another somewhat difficult corner, but you got it. And then turn 5, super simple, flat out. Go down the first straightaway that we will see tonight, and it makes it go down to turn 6. This will be probably my biggest show of passing corners, other than coming out of turn 7 and then going into turn 7 right now, and then going down another straightaway, going into turn 8. This is also my other pick for a big passing zone. Hard braking, and then going right back onto the NASCAR backstretch. So as you're seeing here, Jeff Fleischman going out of turn 8. You want to go take up all the track, and you're going to see them cut through this white line here, try to cut as much track as they can. Now they have to be careful here. If you go below that white line, you have to safely get back up without touching anybody. But we see them going into turn 3 and 4 NASCAR, but it's 9 and 10 for us, and we're going to see Jeff Fleischman coming out of turn 10 now to set his first lap of qualifying.
Perfect run through there, Mason. This is lap 1 for Jeff Fleischman. It's going to be a 1:16.143. A little off pace, and that's the challenge. Turn 2, that is going to be the most challenging corner on this racetrack tonight, getting down to speed and having the grip to make that hard left-hand turn. Ignacio Castagnini straight to the top of the board. He is quickest so far in that number 21, and he's already through turn 6 on his second lap. Thomas Rayleigh onto the backstretch here. What does he do? He's going to track all the way out. I like this, Mason. It's a very small gain you get from cutting the track. And you know what he's actually doing is he's taking the NASCAR top line around the racetrack to get a run at his third lap.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It sounds really weird saying this, but NASCAR and these GT3 cars going through that corner are super similar. You want to be able to go up top and then come back down, not through the corner, go into the straightaway. It makes it so that you don't put as much pressure on the tires. You're able to save the tire better, and I think any guys that we see tonight doing that will have better tire wear than any of the other guys not doing it, as we see Thorsten Ulrich go fastest by almost 2/10.
Got some grass there in turn 1, though, turns 1 and 2, and will come to rest there in turn 3. Will not go for a third lap. Who is going for a third lap is Ignacio Castagnini. Just began that third lap. We got to watch for car 21 here. Let's cover Division 2 quickly. Nathan Medina down in the 6 car. 1 lap. We got Portugal just tracked out wide there. That's going to be the end of his third lap in qualifying. He's going to come to rest at a 1:14.845. Ismail Elahi's already exhausted his laps. He's down in the pit lane. Jose De Leo is on the racetrack, and he was talking about having issues with this Mustang in practice. He's third in Division 2, comes to a stop there. He won't go for a third lap. Andy Ray Miller, teammate to Nathan Medina. What can he do on his third lap? He's looking for a half second to overall pole, looking for about 2/10 to Division 2 pole.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to see these times right now. We have first through about 18th. They're all setting 1:14s, and they're all about 5/10 away from each other. That doesn't seem like a small, substantial amount, but seeing 18 drivers within the same 5/10 range, that's
Ignacio.
really close.
Here comes Ignacio to the line. It's going to be a 1:14.9, slower on lap number 3. He comes to a stop. Thomas Rayleigh does as well. Lucas Souza already in the pit lane. Bruce De Carvalho comes to stop in the pit lane. Scott Reister still on the racetrack, and he was actually down on the apron into NASCAR turn 3. He's only about a quarter second off the pole. What can he do here to the line? Looking for pole in that Acura, coming to the stripe. It's going to be a 1:14.755 to his 7.54. If nothing else, he's consistent.
Yeah, but we have Yannick Steinhoff right here, about to go into turn 8 here. He was the fastest in practice, so I really want to see what time he puts down here, if he can take his teammate off a provisional pole right now.
Mason's levels should now be a little bit more balanced as Miguel Colon goes second quick. That was his second lap time. Might have a third lap here in store for us. Mason, I had to turn you up in the broadcast on Tuesday when we had your interview after going second place. I forgot to turn you back down, so you were a little bit loud and crushing everybody's ears there to start. But I got that figured out. Yannick Steinhoff to the line. Let's see what he's got. It's going to be a 1:14.647. That's not good for pole, but it is good for fifth.
You know, it's funny because Thorsten Ulrich was fifth in practice and Yannick Steinhoff was first in practice, and now they're switched. So, really good on the teammates there.
Miguel Colon might go for a heater here on lap number 3. He's got one more opportunity to go for pole. Let's see what he can do. This has been a stressful qualifying session, but it's all fizzling out now. Can Miguel Colon go faster here on his third lap? Is he coming into the pit lane? He is. That's it for him.
Yeah, he must have felt that that lap wasn't going to be fast enough. I mean, a lot of these guys have their relative markers, and as soon as they see it go red, a lot of these guys kind of give up because you know that you're not really going to be able to gain a lot of time on a track that's so small. So I understand exactly what Miguel Colon was thinking.
On board with Austin Tiller, he currently sits 36th in qualifying. Looking for a better lap. He's so far run a 1:15.444, about a second off of pole time. And his black Ford Mustang, I think, absolutely has room for improvement, but he tracks out too far out of turn 8, and that's in the grass. It's going to ruin his run onto the backstretch. That could completely throw this lap under the bus.
Yeah, with tracks this small, every bit of time matters. You know, you only have 10 corners to make the perfect lap. So, especially coming out of 8, that's probably one of the worst corners to scrub time off because it's straightaways are super important, and you will lose a heap of time.
And sure enough, he loses time. It's a 1:15.987 there on lap 3 for Austin Tiller. These guys get 3 laps to set lap times, and that's going to be it. Well, qualifying then is just about wrapped up. It's just drivers in extra time now. So what we can do is take a quick look at your Whiplash SimCam's race details. This is a 60-minute practice session followed by a 10-minute qualifying session. That's what we're in now. We have a 60-minute sprint race coming up next. 6 setups, 55% fuel, 15 incident limit, then every 5 thereafter, meaning these drivers have 15 incidents they can accrue over the course of the race before they get a penalty. Then it's every 5 incidents thereafter, and it's not 1 incident per actual incident on the racetrack. It's incident points. So it's 4 for contact to another car. It's 4 for contact to a car, right? 2 for contact to a wall, 1 for an off track, and 1 for a loss of control, I believe, or is it 2 for loss of control? Regardless, go ahead.
It's 4 for driver contact, car-to-car contact, 2 for spinning out, or if you spin someone else out and it doesn't give you 4x, and then 1x for going off track.
There you go. So that is how you accrue incident points. You can get 15 of those, 15 of those before you get a penalty, and then it's every 5 thereafter. That concludes our qualifying coverage here from Homestead Miami Speedway. Want to take a look briefly at what's upcoming for us here at Pit Stop TV before we start this broadcast properly. Next up, we stay right here at Homestead Miami Speedway. So if you like what you find on the road course tonight, you're going to like the oval even better. The BRB Racing League is taking to Homestead Miami Speedway for the finale next Tuesday, April 1st. And Mason, you've already clinched that championship. That's going to be pretty much a cruise control ride for you. But why should everybody tune in on Tuesday night to catch you ride into the sunset for a championship?
Obviously, listen to you, Andrew. Who wouldn't want to listen to you broadcast a race in Miami?
I appreciate it. Next week, we're headed to Le Mans. Circuit des 24 Heures du Mans. I don't know. I'm not French. I can't speak French. It looks like Heures. It looks like hours. Anyway. Point being, we'll catch you all at Circuit de la Sarthe, and that should be a lot of fun for the 4th round of the series. And then next Sunday, April the 6th, we head out to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Major Series World 600. So now that I've offended everybody that's French, let's get into the broadcast and take you through your lucky performance starting grid. On pole, Thorsten Ulrich, already quick here in this North American Racing League. This will be his second start, and he's starting from pole position. Miguel Colon, second, I believe, last week at, no, he wasn't second. He had a bad race. That's right. He was good in the opener, had a bad race last week. Let's see what he can do this week. He starts from second place. Starting third, it's Ignacio Castagnin in that 21 car, and Thomas Rayleigh from fourth in that 420. Starting fifth, it's Yannick Steinhoff in the 5 car. Luke D'Souza starts from 6th position for Aerokinetics. Starting 7th, it's Bruce De Carvalho. Starting 8th, it's Scott Kimbrough. 9th and 10th, you'll find Adam Brockway. And the Chevrolet Corvette up front, it's Ricardo Delgado.
Yes, and just outside the top 10, you have starting 11th, Scott Reister. And then starting 12th, you have David Schwartz. 13th, Kevin Gill. 14th, you have Ken Copeland. And then 15th, you have Sam Soyd. And then your first Division II driver that you will see tonight is Nathan Medina. Good qualifying for him in that Porsche. Then in 17th, you have Paulo Goday. In 18th, you have Ismail Ali. In 19th, you have Jake Browder. And then in 20th, you have Santiago Sodino.
Starting 21st, Dominic Turcotte in the 73 alongside Andy Ray Miller. Starting 23rd, it'll be Jose DeLeo alongside Mark Reynolds. Starting 25th position this evening, Nicholas Salabudas in the 26th. Edgar Ruiz starts from 26th. He's a Division I driver. Starting 27th, that's Bobby Flack. 28th, you'll find Dean Kerr. 29th and 30th, how about the 101 of Kevin Peake and a 37 of Chris Winstone.
Yes, and starting 31st, you have Lucas Finko. In 32nd, you have Christian Grisco. In 33rd, you have Scott Angelo. In 34th, you have Craig Bray. In 35th, you have Alex DeMarco. And then in 36th, you have Austin Tiller. Going to 37th, you have Philip Bedurka. And then 38th, you have Chow Trim. 39th, John Patterson. And then 40th, you have Robert Guadagnoli.
Starting 41st, it's Jeff Fleischman who rode on board of him during qualifying. Jay Fuller starts 42nd. Starting 43rd, Timothy Patterson. And look at that, it's a proper 43-car starting grid on a NASCAR track, just the way things were meant to be. Glad you're joining us this evening with the North American Racing League. Let's take a look at who makes these league broadcasts possible. Of course, those here at Pits.tv, Whiplash SimCams, ATVO, CC's Business, Cody Williams Design, Lucky Performance, and the North American Racing League, as well as Moradness, JS Consulting, and Screw Compressor Service Incorporated. Mason, I'll put you on the spot. You've had a little time to get used to these drivers. You've had a little time to get to know everyone and know who's fast. Who do you have winning this race?
I'm going to take Yannick Steinhoff. Starting from 5th, he was super smooth during practice. I think that he's going to go and get a second win of this series for his second start only in the series.
There's a good question out in the YouTube chat. I believe there is 1 drop race for these guys. It might be 2. We'll cover that a little bit later as the season gets going. Once we have full confirmation on that, we'll be able to relay that to everybody, but it should be either 1 or 2 drop races. We'll get clarification later on. The field works into NASCAR 3 and 4, and look at the frame rate drop. That tells you just how many cars there are here at the newly refreshed Homestead Miami Speedway. It's going to be a fun one here. I'm excited. Are you excited, Mason?
I'm excited to get some Homestead racing in.
Around to what is known in NASCAR as the Geico Restart Zone. The iRacing.com safety car pulls to the relative safety of pit lane and will leave us in the hands of Barney the Flagman. Green flag in the North American Racing League at Miami. A clean run through turn 2. I'm impressed by everybody. That was very well done.
I was totally expecting people. Oh, we have a spin in 3. It's a Mustang. Who is that?
Adam Brockway.
Oh,
42
no.
car.
It's just a. Oh, I thought.
Andy Ray Miller and many more involved. Edgar Ruiz backing up there. The rest of the field comes on to the backstretch. Well, 1 of 4 straightaways. We'll call it 1 of the backstretches.
That's such a pinch zone through there. As soon as one car spins, it feels like it's just a cluster through there.
Battle for tight. Division II race lead. It's going to be Nathan Medina and Ismail Elahi. They are side by side onto the NASCAR back straightaway. Medina on the inside, Elahi on the outside. They're bullying each other to get back onto the racetrack here. Elahi on the outside trying to dip in behind now the 6 car of Nathan Medina, while lap 1 goes complete to Thorsten Ulrich.
Other than that turn 3 incident, relatively clean as we are seeing straight battling into turn 1. Oh my god, I think they went too wide for turn 1. I think that's the craziest portion of the track. Going too wide for it. I can't see that happening well, but they did. They got it through clean.
Medina and Elahi still battling right on the back end of Scott Reister. This is your closest lead battle for sure. Miguel Colon is about 4/10 off of Thorsten Ulrich and losing time through the infield. So we stay here with Elahi and Medina. Elahi approaching, Medina defending. And it's so difficult here when you're in a heads-up battle, Mason, because if you're the approaching car, the attacking car, yes, you have draft, but so does the car ahead of you. He can draft on the straightaways too. So it really makes these straightaways a challenge and sometimes a thorn in your side, right? It gets frustrating when that car ahead of you also has draft.
Yeah, a lot of these times you just want to stick behind. So as you see a car going off there, that's a Mercedes of Dean Kerr. He must have just went a little wide there. I wonder if he got a little bit of assistance there off the corner. But like I was saying, you need to get these runs off the corner. That's the only way you can actually pass on these straightaways. But it's super hard to tell because one thing you can be really fast at and the other thing you can be really slow at.
Ismail Elahi very aggressive into the turn 1 and 2 braking zone. Very nice approach to the back end of Nathan Medina. Falls back now just a little bit through 3 and 4. See a lot of wheel go into the corner there. It takes a lot to get around that 4th corner, especially. Turns 3 and 4, man. They are a challenge here at Homestead Miami Speedway and on the road course, of course. Yeah, they're a challenge on the oval too, but man, especially on the road course. They are really, really tight corners. We bump back up to the race lead. It's Ulrich, Cologne, Castagnin, Rayleigh, and Steinhoff top 5. Both ride SimSport drivers in the top 5. That's impressive from those Germans.
Especially for it being really only their second. It is their only second race of this series. So having that much speed already coming into a series is...
Ismail Elahi in trouble, the 025.
Oh no.
He was just battling in second place in that lead battle, and he's in the grass on corner exit. I can already see how this happened. He must have got loose on the compression, getting back to throttle, and just spun it out.
Yeah, that's really tough. He was going for good points, already good points starting, but that's rough. It's gonna be hard to catch back up, especially during this track.
18th in class now, big problems there. Got way deep into the corner and got extra curving on corner exit, and the car just came right around on him.
Yeah, you gotta be careful on that curving. You cannot get on the throttle too hard there. That curving is basically paint. We were talking about that in the turn 1. It gets that car really off-centered and it wants to loop it around.
Ismail out of New Jersey. Getting back after it, he is down in 38th overall. We have 42 cars that have started the race. Only one car is down laps. It is Jay Fuller. He is in the pit lane, and he might be there for a while. He's got a lot of damage to that number 13 car. Philip Pazurka coming into the pit lane as well. Unfortunate to start the night for him.
Yeah, I think turn 1 really got a lot of people. But a driver I really want to talk about right now is Christian Grisco. He's already up 12 positions from the start of the race, is in a good position right now. I'm pretty sure he is second in Division 2 right now. That is a great start for this race for him, especially since he's had a couple of rough races for the last couple of weeks.
Here's a look at Christian Grisco. He's got Dominic Turcotte right behind. The problem here, Mason, is if you think about how points are earned in this series, they're earned for overall position, and then you're split down into your classes. Yes, he runs second in class, but he runs 20th as Medina runs 13th. That's 7 positions between himself and the Division 2 race leader. That's a long time on the racetrack, a lot of points in the standings. That is a huge hit, and a huge benefit certainly for Medina if he's able to hold on to it.
Yeah, especially since Nathan Medina right now is your points leader for Division 2. He is wanting to get as many points on the drivers as he can and try to keep that gap so he feels a lot more comfortable, especially going into next week.
There's a look again at Medina. He runs right behind Scott Reister. Up front, bit of a battle drafting between these two leading the race. Miguel Colon on the back end of Thorsten Ulrich. And we've seen this already in the opening 2 rounds of this season, Mason. The second place car doesn't want to pass yet.
I don't know. Miguel Colon, he looks like he's hungry, but he could be trying to save fuel behind Thorsten.
He absolutely is.
I think that's the smart decision right now, especially since you can come in and get a way shorter pit stop than all of these guys, because they're going to take tires. But the fuel is what takes the longest in these cars. And it's painful to look at your gallon percentage go up, and it only goes up like 1 gallon per, it feels like 30 seconds. I know it's not, that's a little over-exaggerated, but it feels like that.
Briscoe under fire. He's going to lose that second spot in Division 2 to Dominic Turcotte. The damaged Porsche falling back. We saw that damage a little bit while we were on him. Here's a look at it again. That left front is bent in on that number 91 Porsche. And so far, I don't see any damage on, well, maybe a little bit to the right rear of Dominic Turcotte's car.
He has right rear diffuser damage, but that is the fastest I think we have seen at Audi all season. I remember the first race, we didn't even know there was an Audi, and now he is showing that he has the speed in that car. So that's good for him being the only Audi out there.
You know, it makes sense that an Audi would be fast in Miami. That just feels right. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Ferraris, like Audis, that just makes sense for Miami, I feel like.
I feel like the Porsche sounds better.
Well, you know, anyway.
Maybe McLaren, because that McLaren looks fast right now.
Yeah, out front, still the McLaren of Thorsten Ulrich. Miguel Colon, he's going to sit back, and he's going to enjoy this second place positioning. Maybe more than Ignacio Castagnini is enjoying his third place positioning. These guys are all able to draft right now and save fuel. We've seen that in the opening 2 rounds of this series. The driver that's second has the best advantage of the pit lane.
I totally agree with you on that. I definitely think third and back, they're going to want to gain these positions because, you know, you're saving the same amount of fuel as the guy in front of you if you're right behind him. So why not try to go for that extra position? That's my take on it. Andrew, I know you might have a different thought about it, but that's my take on it.
Time will tell. The fact that we're only 9 minutes into this race and it's felt like an hour already is astonishing to me. Here goes Miguel Colon. Maybe he is going to pass. He gets a run here on the front stretch and is going to go right on by Thorsten Ulrich. I'm sure Thorsten is thinking, yes, absolutely. Let me save some fuel. Oh, and he's going to hit him. Contact, and there goes Miguel Colon around for a spin, and he's not the only one, I don't think. Problems for other drivers in the field at the same time. He's going to whip that Mercedes around, and Miguel Colon's troubles continue.
And I think that's going to be a drive-through for Thorsten Ulrich, too, because he hit the rear end of Miguel Colon there. So that's going to be really tough for your top 2 right there.
I don't know if it's going to be a drive-through. If anything, I think that'll be protested after the fact. I'd be surprised to see this be a drive-through. This is incidental racing contact to me.
We've seen crazier things.
You know what? I think Miguel broke free.
I think you might be right there because I saw a little bit of grass get picked up there, so I wonder if he went a little too wide, got on the throttle a little too much, and then it sent the car a little bit around, and then, of course, Thorsten Ulrich was there to finish the job, sadly.
I can't tell. It's
That's
really
tough.
close, and race admins, both live and delayed, will have a really tough time looking at that incident. That's going to be a difficult one.
But that's only let Thomas Rayleigh get even closer to that first place car right now. He is within about a 10th right now and gaining everything, and he's bringing Ignacio he actually passed Ignacio, so now Ignacio is still in third, but Rayleigh is now a position ahead of Ignacio.
Change there for second and third position. Ricardo Delgado now around out of turn 4. That Corvette I was talking about on the grid has just had problems in the 4th corner. He gets back going. Let's get another replay.
Yeah,
he was in the top 10 before this.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of problems, especially like in turn 2 and 4. We've seen a couple problems in 8. So we're going to see right now exactly what happened to him.
from Sim Racing PR had a run at the number 15 of Ken Copeland. Goes by for the most part there in turn 3, but then in turn 4 there's contact made, I think, and I think Ricardo just squeezed him too much.
Yeah, there was nothing that Ken Copeland could have done there. I mean, I think it looked like there could have been a little bit of netcode there, though.
Let's get another replay here. Same angle, a little bit more zoomed in. We're going to slow it down right here.
That's netcode.
Maybe, but I feel like they would have made contact regardless. You got Copeland down on the curbing and Ricardo squeezing him. That's just bad stuff. That's racing, though.
Yeah, that's road racing for you. Not just short track racing. That's road racing for you. You know, there's movements where you can't make it, but you know you got to try it. I mean, the moves have to be made.
Scott Reister, Ken Copeland doing some battle here. Copeland's got the spot. Reister wants it. This would be for 9th position. Reister moving up ever so slowly, using that attrition to go on by some cars. But he's got Nathan Medina on his back end. You see the block thrown. Medina with nowhere to go now for turn 8.
Close racing here right now. We have about four people fighting for 9th right now, but yeah, I really feel like as we're seeing Thomas Rayleigh get ever so close. Will he try to send it there? Oh, I thought he was going to try to send it around the outside there. I was about to be amazed if he was about to try to send it around the outside there.
No send just yet from Thomas Rayleigh.
I'm getting really nervous of those guys on the exit of 2. That grass is just being spit up. And when we go back around, if you look at that grass, you can see where those drivers are going over it because there's just a big brown blotch right there of grass. As we're seeing going too wide through 4 right now.
Paulo Godai, yeah, going by Santiago Serena. You see the flash from Santiago. He's none too pleased, but that's racing. That's how you've got to pass here at Miami. You can't get too upset about it. You cannot let that get in your head.
Oh, a little bit of contact there between Santiago and Reynolds there.
Change for the lead. Right there in turn 8, Thomas Rayleigh goes by Thorsten Ulrich. And again, Thorsten's got to be thinking, absolutely, go ahead. Let me save fuel.
I totally agree with you. I think he's going to start saving fuel. He might be starting to save tire. But we're not in his brain right now. He could totally say, screw it, I want this lead. I want to lead every lap I can. I mean, he's making every move. Is he going to try to push him here? Oh, he's bump drafting. We're going to see that here on Tuesday. But I was not expecting these guys to do that.
There's been a lot of chatter in the league about bump drafting here, and some people saying don't do it, some saying absolutely do it, some saying I don't want it, some saying I do want it. I don't know if I would do it. That's just me personally, but you see the bump draft from Thorsten work out there for Thomas Rayleigh. Keeps those two out front of Ignacio Costagnin and Yannick Steinhoff. As there's a battle again, Miguel Colon and Santiago Serena. More drivers passing Serena. That Lamborghini headed the wrong direction.
Yeah, I think that earlier incident may have frazzled his brain a little bit. You can't let that get into your head. You got to keep sticking with it. I mean, I know in these situations it seems like you're just falling, but you got to look at the bright side. You're still in the race. You still have time to make these positions back. I know it's a tough track, but you just got to keep your head into it. Don't let these passes hurt you. Just go with it and roll with it and be there at the end. You can't win a race if you're not there at the end, as he goes really wide there through turn 8.
Bobby Flack might have a run at him here by turn 1. Let's go on board with Flack. We haven't gone on board much. These guys all living down on the racetrack, not tracking out much. And that was a talking point you and I had going into this race, Mason. Will these guys treat the oval corners like an oval, or will they keep it pinned down to the bottom? So far, we're seeing everybody keep it pinned down low.
Yeah. Oh, contact there.
Yeah, they door banged a little bit, and Flack just gets clear. That looked like a NASCAR slide job to get back in front of Santiago there.
Yeah, you got to be careful though on that contact. Every little bit of contact on these cars kind of degrades it a little bit. I know iRacing has progressive damage. If you keep making those contacts, I know Santiago's had a little bit of contact on that left front. If if he keeps letting it happen, that car could eventually have wheel damage. I know even the smallest of incidents, I mean, at Bristol you see it all the time, where the right front all of a sudden just goes away, and you don't know why. It's just that progressive damage.
On board of Jose Noleo. He sits right behind Dominic Turcotte. He's past Christian Gritzko. That was for third. And now looks up at second place. And this is a driver that was concerned about his car selection for this race. He's locked into running the Mustang this season and was concerned that it might not work out for him tonight, but it's working out so far. He's running 21st overall, third in class. For Division 2, that's pretty good. I'm sure he would like a few more spots overall for those points, but if he's third in Division 2, that's a good day.
It's a great day for you. And as we were talking, David Schwartz did just get around Lucas Souza for 6th position. So David Schwartz making his way through the field, started 12th, is now 6th. So that's 6 positions up on his starting position today. That Mercedes is looking pretty quick today, Andrew.
He had a Mercedes in second, and then the race lead with Miguel Colon, and then he had problems where he got hit by Thorsten Ulrich. I don't think it was Ulrich's fault, but regardless, there was contact, and that 87 car went for a spin. Back up front, it's Rayleigh, Ulrich, and Castagnini, your podium 3. They work back onto the oval.
Yeah, with all this saving, we can say hello to Bruce De Carvalho. He is now there in 5th and is trying possibly to want to make a move around Yannick. I think he's going to want to, but this is the closest that we've seen Carvalho to the front that we've seen today.
A brief moment to breathe. Get our bearings about us. Oh boy, it's been an action-packed opening here at Miami. Exactly what we wanted this race to be.
You know, Andrew, in the beginning I had doubts. This is really fun to watch.
This is a really good combo.
I told you earlier, I was like, I don't know if this is going to be good racing. You have made your point, and I will never say no ever again to an idea.
Battle for 4th. Bruce De Carvalho looks to be inside here on Yannick Steinhoff. Will back out and think better of that for the time being, so Steinhoff can keep working on Castagnini. Although he was a little bit slow out of the corner, that might open the door by turn 1.
Yeah, Yannick had to get on the brakes there just a little bit because he almost got into the rear end of Castagnini. Almost. But that will slow down your momentum, but it seems like he got a good enough exit, and I think Carvalho, out of the exit of 8, actually got a little bit of wheel spin coming out. So that actually saved, I think, Yannick from getting past here.
You see the slight weave back up to the top of the racetrack, then back down, cutting down to the bottom. Got to give a shout out once again to Nathan Medina, who runs in first right now in Division 2. He's not only leading that class, he's 11th overall, while his closest competition is 20th. That's Dominic Turcotte down there. He is going to gain a whole bunch of points. He's already leading the standings.
This is a great look from a Division 2 driver, especially he's almost in the top 10. I think you made that point, but he is there. I mean, right now he has 9th, he has 10th in front of him and 9th. With that is Ken Copeland and Scott Reister. Ken Copeland, your Division 1 points leader. You always have to be looking at that saying, oh my gosh, I passed the Division 1 points leader. If he gets there, we'll say he does. That is a great feeling, especially on momentum, when you pass a guy who's really fast. I mean, you have to be fast to be the Division 1 points leader. So, as of right now, Medina's probably saying, woo, let's do it. And these guys are not following what we thought they would with the tire saving. I mean, coming out of NASCAR 4, which is 10 for them, we thought that they were going to let the car open up, save that tire a little bit. But they have totally not listened. I think tire saving right now is not a full-on want or need for them right now. I think they just want these positions. Andrew, what do you think?
For everybody in the field, you have to get all the positions you can at this point. Oh, spin! Gill and Delgado's just lost his rear wing. Gill around as well. That was a perfectly timed cut, let me just say. That was good stuff. Kevin Gill with a problem. He goes around and all of that. Let's get a replay. Scott Reister, by the way, has just gone by Ken Copeland in real time. But let's watch these two battling down here deep in the field. Delgado with a scary move up the inside at turn 2. Gill cut back underneath him. And Delgado lunged back up the inside. I don't know where he's going there. Kevin Gill has every right to be upset with that.
Yeah, that's a little too desperate for this early in the race, especially where you're at in the position. You don't want to make, that was already a very sketchy descent. And then here, I would have just backed out of it. Go back, try it again. I mean, now your car has more damage than what you want. You have to go in, get it fixed, because you're going to have no rear grip at all. Your spoiler's gone. So now you've kind of trashed Gill's race, but you've also trashed your race.
Let's see, is he still going without a rear wing? Because he continued on there for a minute, and he is still racing without a rear wing. I don't know how he's managing this. That's got to be loose.
You saw it before there. I don't know if any of you guys saw that, but he got a little twitchy there before. That is not what you want around this track. You want to have as much speed out of the corners as you can. So honestly, I'm super impressed right now that he's even. Ooh, yeah, he's loose. I mean, you can see he's starting to wiggle around in his car. I want to see how he takes turn 8. Oh, you already got it done. Wow. You're reading my mind today, Andrew.
Let's see. Through the corner, is he able to get back to power okay? It's so low speed there that he can't, but there was a moment. Problems for Yannick Steinhoff maybe, having some connection difficulty. There is great racing, and there you go. There is the call to the pit lane for the 01. He's got to come in. Let's go up front and cover everything happening with the race leaders as Thomas Rayleigh still leads, but Yannick Steinhoff is now up to 3rd. He's gone by Bruce De Carvalho and Ignacio Castagny.
He's showing that he's. Oh my God! He almost just spun his teammate. Oh, that would have been
very close stuff.
That would have been chaos.
Kevin Gill around again.
Oh no!
We've got to take a replay on this. This looks big.
I wonder if he just got real. I wonder if he touched the paint like how you talked about earlier, Andrew, and going into turn 1, he just got loose.
Let's cover this, then get back to the leaders. Kevin Gill. Big problems. This car has got a lot of damage. Out of Argentina, racing there with, I believe, Craig Bray. Got out wide, tried to cut back down, and the car took off on him.
Oh, that's... Oh, wow. Gosh, wow.
That's a close call for those cars right behind.
That's most definitely a meatball flag. There's no way that's not.
I'll back up to live picture. How about Lucas Souza and David Schwartz? They battle for 6th and 7th on the racetrack. And now, Paulo Goday goes by for 10th on Nathan Medina. Now, Medina's getting passed up by Jake Browder. This is big problems for Medina. He's been sitting happily just outside the top 10 all race. And now these Division 1 drivers that are sitting behind him are trying to go by. And so far, they're winning the fight. He's down to 12th.
I think you're going to start to see the aggression from these Division 1 drivers. You know, you see the Division 2. You know you're not going to be racing for... You're going to be racing for the points, obviously. But not in your division. You want to pass them so you can fight the people that are in your division here. And I wonder if we're going to see Kenny Copeland make these aggressive moves. He might try to send one into turn 1 because as of right now, I like how Medina is. He's not letting them go by, but he's racing them with respect. He understands that he is first right now in his division, and he cannot lose it right now.
He needs these points. I know he's already got the points lead, but he needs to build a gap. Copeland looking for a way by, might have something for turn 1. Has a run here.
Gonna try the outside.
Gonna try the outside for turn 1. Gets right on that right rear, side drafting a little bit, and backs out.
Smart. Too early for making those outside passes around turn 1.
Oh, he got in deep. That stacks him up. Very nicely done for everybody there to avoid a bigger problem. Put a nose-to-tail contact, but that's okay.
My blood pressure is going through the roof right now. We've almost seen 3 or 4 incidents of people getting the rear end of people within the last, like, 2 minutes.
Now, Paulo Godoy, is coming off of a disqualification at Portugal, where he was warming tires, was found warming tires in qualifying, and that is in the league regulations that you cannot do. Now, I know it might not be something that a lot of drivers are used to, but it's been in the league regulations for a couple of seasons now, and it's very much frowned upon. The reasoning there is league admins basically don't want it called into question at all, so they would rather just ban it and let it be a non-issue, which I can't disagree with. There have been, in years past, a lot of storylines, a lot of headlines about drivers using unorthodox and unrealistic methods of warming the tires. Well, the league doesn't want it to be a problem at all, so they just ban it outright, and again, I can't blame them. That is one way to get rid of it entirely, and it works. So, in the league regulations, you can't do tire warming in qualifying, on the race start, anything like that. And I think Paulo might have missed that going into Portugal, did it in qualifying, got the ban. Well, not the ban, but the DQ. While that's been happening, though, a really good fight is happening right behind Nathan Medina. These guys are trying to go by.
Yeah, we're going to start seeing these Division 1 drivers upping their aggression level. I mean, I said that earlier, but you got to be careful. You don't want to get that drive-through, especially as we saw Delgado get. That's really tough on points. You don't want to get those drive-throughs because it will put you a substantial amount of time back behind your closest competitors. And as of right now, you don't want that. You just want to be able to run your race.
One car pitting, Lucas Souza, multiple cars pitting actually. Souza and Schwartz both will come in here, and they're not the only ones. You see other cars in the pit lane. Another car comes in. That's going to be Jake Browder, I believe. Yes, it is. His teammate coming in. That's Mark Reynolds, I believe. Bobby Flack is coming in. A lot of cars pitting here. Jose DeLeo, a lot of cars pitting.
Now, I'm wondering, we've seen Ulrich play the smart game. Stick behind Thomas Rayleigh. His teammate's right behind him. And then Rayleigh's teammate is right behind Yannick, which is Bruce Carvalho. We have 2 teams in the top 4. Already that's crazy. I mean, we're seeing like Red Bull and Mercedes, the 2021 F1 right now. We're seeing these teams show who the dominant teams are here right now at this track. Ignacio right behind them. Good start for him right now. He needs to get these points, especially after VIR with that screen freeze incident. But I'm wondering when we're going to see Thorsten go into the pits. He saved a lot more.
Here we go, right now.
Oh, they answered my question. There we go.
And you have to take the access road coming into the pit lane. You have to make that call on the backstretch, the NASCAR backstretch, or you will get a penalty. So that is very important. You have to make that call early. You see all these drivers working down the pit lane. Thorsten got in deep. He's alongside Thomas Rayleigh. You see everybody on the pit limiter. Winstone down there, the 66 of Patterson, the 25 of Fleischman. They're making contact in the pit lane. Oh my gosh.
Be careful. You don't want to get any bit of required damage, especially in these pit stops, because you're not going to be able to leave. I mean, that's something that you don't want. And you don't want to lose any time.
An eagle-eyed viewer might notice the American flag on the front straightaway blowing in the breeze. Let's take a look at the weather details this afternoon. 71.9 degrees in the air, 87 on track, mostly cloudy skies. A pretty tame weather day, but there we go. That was Thorsten out and away quickly. And these guys get back on the racetrack.
I'm wondering if he took less fuel there than Rayleigh.
Yes, by a large margin. 21.8 seconds in the box for Ulrich versus 23.4 for Rayleigh. That's a difference of about 1.5 seconds or so. 1.6.
That's scary. That's scary for Ulrich, because if he was getting a fuel calculator, that was for being behind Rayleigh. So now that he is in front of him, as we're seeing a good battle here for 5th right now.
That was a lapped car getting passed up.
I am so sorry.
48? Or no, 46 of Guadagnoli. That's who that was.
It looked like a battle there for a second, so.
This is a battle.
Is my bad. There we go. Woo!
Kimbrough, Schwartz, and Souza. 7th, 8th, and 9th. They're just ahead of Paulo Godai by about 3 seconds. You see them in the background, Godai and whatnot. And Miguel Colon is coasting to the pit lane. He stayed out, couldn't make it.
Oh, no. He was doing so good today. He had that incident with Ulrich earlier in the race, and now has this. I don't think he's going to make it to his box because he started on. He started second, right?
Started second, yeah. He's got a long ways to go. The entire length of the front stretch is about.
He's going to need a tow, I think. I don't think he's going to make it to his box.
It's going to be close. And he's going to drop down the entire order here. This is an absolute disaster for this Mercedes driver. He had a good day to start. Started second, needed it. Got to the race lead and got hit. Whether he got loose beforehand or not is up in question. This is disaster for Miguel Colon.
This is for sure going to be a drop race if they are allowed one here in the series.
They're at least allowed one. I know that. It's a matter of 1 or 2. I don't know that he's going to make it back.
I think he needs a tow. I think he's wasting more time than what he needs to right now, trying to get his car there.
Question is him coasting going to be faster than the tow? It actually might be.
It might be right now that he's even closer. But he will go a lap down most likely because Ulrich is flying around this track right now. As Rayleigh sets the fastest lap of the race.
Rayleigh has got the draft right now, and he's making up that gap. As Colon, I think, is going to make it. He's just got a couple more boxes to go. There you see the 87. He's just going to make it back to his box. You can't overshoot, though. He has to be perfect, and he is.
I have been. Everyone has proven me wrong today, so I am happy that you are because this makes a good talking point.
All right. Christian Gritzko into 20th overall. He is third in class now. Jose DeLeo, that red Mustang, is up the road. DeLeo might be talking to us after today. It's looking good for Jose. That red Ford Mustang has had some troubles to get the season started, but it's looking good here at Miami.
Yeah, for a guy that was complaining and saying that the Mustang was rough around here, he is flying in that car, especially for Division 2, sitting in second in class right now.
Nice little pack of cars here. Ignacio Castagnine, David Schwartz, Scott Kimbrough, Lucas Souza, and soon to be Paulo Godai. He is closing in. Ignacio leads this train. And we have properly split this field up into a handful of different groups.
I like it. We get so many different battles on track. Makes it fun broadcasting.
Scott Kimbrough right in the back of David Schwartz. Through turn 4 there, back on power. Got to call back up to Thomas Rayleigh. He is closed back into Thorsten Ulrich and has left Yannick Steinhoff in the dust. It's going to be these two for the race win, and Thorsten might be short on fuel. I feel good for Thomas Rayleigh right now.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous for Ulrich right now, especially since his fuel calculator could have been telling him to take less fuel because he was behind Rayleigh. So, if I was in his situation, I would let Rayleigh go by. I know that sounds really bad. We only have about 20 minutes left in the race, but that's 20 minutes you have to make it. You don't have to make a second pit stop, because if you do, you're going to totally trash your race. So if you're listening, Ulrich, you're low on fuel, I would let him go by and save your fuel. I do not want to see you fall back.
Out of Brockway, back down the pit lane. Maybe he's realizing that he needs more fuel. Well, one car already coming back in. And he'll make a stop. Oh, Ismail Elahi's down here for 3 laps now. Elahi's been in the pit lane. Remember, he was doing really good in Division 2 earlier. Had that spin. What's gone on here? Go back and get a look at it. You see there the damage. He had a tow. So Ismail Elahi right here. On the inside of Andy Ray Miller. Goes on by, gets a little tap. Oh, and got into Craig Bray, who was there on the outside of the track, spun.
Right front was broken. He could not turn there.
And Bray just got wide at turn 2, went for a loop. And Olahi came in late and was deep and just couldn't miss him.
Yeah, and then his right front's broken. He's trying to turn that car and it was not turned. So all he could do there was tow. That's a sad day for Ismail because he was so fast here earlier on. As we're seeing a move here with Marky Reynolds on Nathan Medina going down the inside in turn 1. That is the first actual...
Car spun. It's Jake Browder. Whoa, that was close.
We almost saw a rerun of that again about Ismail.
Oh, Jake Browder on the inside gets Bobby Flack, spins him around. Black goes for a spin and gets back on right in front of Samsoid. Browder now racing with Santiago Serena. Got to go back and get the whole sequence again.
That was a lot of stuff that happened there within turn 2, 3, and 4.
So Jake Browder here just gets loose, spins around right on the back end of Scott Reister, rejoins right in front of Ken Copeland. He's on the inside here. Bobby Flack comes down, but if you're that spun car, you no longer have position for the corner. Jake Browder, you've got to let that field go. Staying on the inside like that, they're expecting to go around you. They're not expecting you to be there. You've got to let them go and just slide in behind. That's got to come back on Browder later.
I definitely agree with you on there. I think that's going to be a penalty there for Browder. That's sad for everybody who got involved in that wreck there because we had such a good race going on there.
And that field's now been split up, that group anyway. Mark Reynolds goes by Ken Copeland, though. That's for 11th. And Jake Browder gets by Santiago Serena. Here comes Jose De Leo. You know, we were talking earlier about a 5, 7, 10 position, whatever it was. I think it was 10 positions almost between Nathan Medina and Christian Gritzko, first and second in Division 2. It's now only 3 spots between Nathan Medina and Jose De Leo. So Jose is making up a ton of points right now.
I totally agree with you on that. I was actually about to talk about that if you were going to talk about it, so I'm glad you took it from me. Jose De Leo, he needs these good points. I mean, he's 13th in points right now. He needs to get as many points as he can if he wants to even have a run for, honestly, second right now, because Nathan Medina is in first, and Nathan Medina has been on point here. But we have so many more races to cover and so much stuff that could happen.
Look here at Thomas Rayleigh, and I want to shout this guy out for lucky performance, lucky break of the day. And my lucky break for him is going to be getting by the spun Miguel Colon earlier, making passes quickly, and putting himself in a lucky position for the pit stops to be right behind the leader who made it out ahead. Like, everything is just lined up perfect because he's saving fuel again here. And he can be pushing now. He can push at any point in time. We're not sure exactly when that's going to happen. But everything is lined up so far for Thomas Rayleigh. We like the position that he's in. That's my lucky performance, lucky break of the day so far.
Oh, no, I don't know what mine's going to be. I got to find it. I'll find it.
It's okay. You could agree.
I agree. There we go. Because I feel like... Wow, that's rough. There's been so much stuff happening that I don't even know who to talk about.
There's been a lot of unlucky stuff. And,
yes,
you know, we talked with Lucky Performance about it being an unlucky break of the day, and they wanted it to be positive, a lucky break of the day, but I knew that we would find more unlucky things to talk about, and that's just the nature of things. It's the way things go. It's hard to find a lucky break of the day sometimes, but it's really easy to find an unlucky break of the day. I like lucky break of the day more personally, but I just know there's more stuff to find for unlucky.
Now, what about your driver of the day?
Yes, that's coming up. We may as well just go ahead and start talking about it. I'll give you the floor here, and I'll set up the poll for that NARL Driver of the Day vote because it's about that time.
I talked about him earlier. I'm going to give it to Christian Gritzko. He started 32nd. He is 18th now. He has been taking all advantage of people's mistakes tonight and is up a substantial amount of positions from his starting position, which honestly is really good because he's only 2 positions behind Jose De Leo and only 5 behind Nathan Medina. So going third right now, super, I can almost call him the lucky break of the day, but I'm going to give him driver of the day. That's my first pick for Division 2.
That's Gritzko, but we saw Rayleigh making a move here maybe. Let's live with it for a second and see if Rayleigh goes up the inside. He is. Thomas Rayleigh at the inside for turn 1. Makes the pass on Thorsten Ulrich. That is a power move for Thomas Rayleigh and the Porsche. Ulrich right on his back bumper. Nearly got to him there in turn 2 and 3. Power move, though, from Thomas Rayleigh. I love it.
That's what you want to see. All those passes going into turn 1. It's so sketchy, but it's so cool when they do it. I want to see more of that. Please.
Well, I'll make a pick, and it's going to be Nathan Medina leading Division 2. I just think it's hard to pass him up. I want to give it to Jose DeLeo. I really do. He's made a lot of positions up, but Nathan Medina has held his spot 13th right now. Started 16th, so he's up a few spots even. He has done a fantastic job of positioning himself for this Division 2 win. Right behind Ken Copeland, hanging on to that draft. I have to go Nathan Medina.
That's what I really feel on that. That's such a good pick. For my Division 1, though, I am going to choose Bruce de Carvalho. I think he is needed this run. I mean, he's sitting 5th right now, but I think he's had a little bit less luck than the top 5 that we've seen on points. I think this is a great run for him, and he is catching. I wonder if his teammate is holding back Thorsten there just a little bit through these corners, so Bruce de Carvalho could catch up to these two, because he is making a substantial cut into that gap right now.
And for me, it's going to be his teammate, Thomas Rayleigh, leading the way right now. Again, everything is lined up so nicely for Thomas Rayleigh today. He's done a fantastic job of positioning himself for the right things to happen and has taken advantage every step of the way. I know he's got 17 minutes to go, but the Cross-Continental Collective, I believe that's their, Cross-Continental Collective, that's their team name. I like it. It's working so far.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I do feel like Rayleigh is pushing back Thorsten just a little bit so Bruce de Carvalho could get there. But you do have to be careful because in 4th right now, Yannick Steinhoff, that is Ulrich's teammate. We have 2 teams right in the top 4. It is the only close cars right here to battle for this lead right now. This is going to be a 4-car fight for this lead, I think, here towards the end.
The NARL Driver of the Day vote now live on YouTube. You can vote on the YouTube platform. You can't vote on Twitch. You can't vote on Facebook. You've got to get to YouTube, watch along with us, and vote for your Driver of the Day. So far, votes, they're not rolling in. Yeah, they're starting to roll in. You've got to get out there on YouTube and vote. 16 minutes to go in this race. That vote will end at the completion of the results reading.
And as you were talking, David Schwartz has cut that gap to Ignacio even closer now as they go into turn 6 here. I don't know. I think David Schwartz, if he gets a good run out of 8, could make a run here going to turn 1 on Ignacio here. As we continue to keep looking at your leaders, Thomas Rayleigh, he's setting the laps, he's setting quick. Ulrich just riding in the wake. This is what he needs to do, especially if he doesn't have enough fuel. You want to be able to save that fuel, as I like how Rayleigh's doing now. He's trying to cut the wake there a little bit, letting the car ride up, doing exactly what Andrew talked about earlier, letting the car ride up, and then come back down. Is able to save your tire just a little bit more. And as we keep looking at it, actually, Ulrich has gained time on Carvalho, so maybe I was wrong about Rayleigh pushing back. But
one car at the apex there.
Oh, this is going to bring Carvalho even closer now.
That's Andy Ray Miller. You've got to let these guys go, Andy. You've got to let them go. Carvalho trying to get by. That's going to be real close contact there even. And he's going to be in the way now of Yannick Steinhoff. No, now he pulls off. Oh, I don't know about that.
I mean, it's better than stopping on the track. But I think what you need to do is just let out the gas, let the leaders go. I mean, you don't want to interfere with these battles. I know you don't want to be a lap down, but you've got to let these leaders go. I mean, oh my gosh, Yannick has just had a horrible blink there. I thought he was gone for the race.
He's had a few of those. Glad his connection is hanging on for now, though, as Ignacio Castellini and David Schwartz do battle at turn 8 there. It's Scott Kimbrough and Lucas Souza there. And Mark Reynolds and Ken Copeland right here. Medina is falling back to Jake Browder. Well, actually, it's a lap car in between. Who is that? Is that Adam Brockway, maybe? It is. Brockway a lap down.
Medina's got to be careful here. Doleo is starting to make ground on him. He is sitting in the wake of Santiago Serena and Jake Browder. I mean, he's just riding right now. That's exactly what you need to do, especially sitting in second right now. So, Medina, if you're listening, let's kick in your high gear. If you want to win this race, you got to keep the head down. I know it's only about 8.5 minutes left in this race, but you got to keep going.
8.5. Try 13 minutes. 13 and a half.
Oh, I am looking at the completely wrong thing. Huh. I'll look at the screen. That is my fault.
That's okay. A little more time to go. That's what we like to see. David Schwartz is getting closer and closer, using the wipers even to get up to the 21 car of Ignacio.
That's got to be DRS for these cars.
Yeah. Sweeping the air away.
Is that a fuel warning on his car?
No. So we don't get that data transmitted.
Oh,
what
okay.
It is oil pressure. Since we don't get any of that data transmitted, the Mercedes throws the oil pressure warning. It's a weird iRacing thing, and that's the easiest way to describe it as these guys work onto the front stretch here. Ignacio defending, David Schwartz on the approach. Oh, that was close at turn 1. Turn 2 now.
Yeah,
And
Ignacio.
Lucas Souza is closing in along with Scott Kimbrough. This could be a 4-car fight soon.
That's what you want to see. You have these little micro battles. Now they're starting to make even bigger battles, and as you even go even farther back, you can go all the way to Paulo Godai and Scott Reister, who are making it even closer, and you have Mark D. Reynolds, which is right behind them as well, and then Ken Copeland and Mark D. Reynolds.
Copeland's got some left front damage. We're on board with Reynolds looking back at him. Hang on, David Schwartz getting real close to the braking zone to Ignacio Castagnin. I think Ignacio is holding him up here. And Ignacio took a lot of fuel. He took 24.5 seconds of fuel. That's a long time in the pit lane compared. A lot of these guys get 23s and 22s.
But that just makes David Schwartz even faster on these straightaways. Lighter car equals faster. I know it doesn't look like that, but more weight on the car means that you can put a little more power down because you have more pressure going into the ground. That's the way I'm thinking about it. Yes, you want to think about timing, but maybe that's the way he was thinking. Maybe he thought that he needed to have a little bit more grip because maybe that Lamborghini wasn't hooking up as well as he wanted it to.
Well, regardless, we're going to have a really good fight for the top 4 in these final 10 minutes. And a really good fight for the 4 right behind. I mean, really good fights for the top 10 as a whole. Most of Division 2 has quieted down. We want to recap that division, though, quickly. Nathan Medina leads the way in Division 2. We'll work from front to back. It's Nathan Medina, Jose DeLeo in second. Then Christian Gritzko in third place in Division 2 right now. Dominic Turcotte runs in fourth. Dean Kerr in fifth. Then Nicholas Salapudis. This is where cards are in a row. From Turcotte through Kerr, Salapudis, and Finko. All in a row there. Even Alex DeMarco in the 2. And Scott Angelo in the 68. As Thorsten Ulrich has a problem. He's blinking out. And this might be a larger issue than the micro blinks for Yannick Steinhoff. He's still gone.
Oh no. I don't see that he has packet loss yet.
Yeah, keep me honest with the packet loss.
I'm looking. I don't see anything yet. This is a really long blink for. I mean, it pushed him all the way down to 12th now. He keeps falling.
He's down to 19th, 21st, 22nd.
If I'm Thomas Bradley right now, I'm getting nervous because I don't know. We don't know if he's just going to pop up out of nowhere.
Well, for the whole top 3, really. Jake Browder, slow, big hit, Christian Gritzko. And Jake Browder's going to be done. He's going to try and continue on, but he's got no left front on that number 74 car. There it is.
gosh.
And Ulrich
Tow
is
it.
still not back.
Just tow it. That was a hit. Who got air there?
That was Christian Gritzko that got him. Let's look back. Was racing with Santiago Serena. Santiago just punts him and hits him again on the way by. And then here comes Christian Gritzko. Oh my gosh.
And oh my gosh, the news that we all didn't want to hear. Thorsten Ulrich is just dropped because of packet loss. Oh no.
Well, Thorsten Ulrich dominating the opening portions of this race. Has been out front most of the day and drops within the final 10 minutes. We've had a lot of a lot of European drivers have problems with this time slot because you gotta think about it, it's the middle of the night there. And when do ISPs tend to do maintenance?
During the night.
ISPs being internet service providers. The middle of the night. This tends to be a tricky time for a lot of European drivers to run this race. It's happened before, we see it happening again.
You just don't want to see that for the leader.
For anybody, really. But especially somebody who's battling for the race win. And now, it's a 2v1. Two CCC drivers battling versus the Ride SimSport driver of Yannick Steinhoff. Can Yannick take them?
I think he can. Oh! Really close to hard braking going into turn 2 there. I think if he has any shot for this win, he's got to start being super aggressive now. I know you don't want to spin these guys, obviously. You don't want to get a penalty. But two teammates in front of you, that is a worst case scenario. You never want to see it because I'm saying if Thomas Rayleigh is telling Carvalho to hold him back, Carvalho will block for his teammate. You want your teammate to get a win, or especially your team. But how hard will Yannick drive this car to try to get this win in it? That's something I want to see.
Cars coming back to the pit lane. Dean Kerr is in the pits. We've seen this multiple times this season. Drivers mismanaging fuel, and the new iRacing auto fuel system might be to blame, honestly. A lot of drivers trusting that when sometimes that could be a little bit inaccurate. It's still being worked on by iRacing. It's not completely perfect.
It's definitely caught me off guard a couple times, especially in the BRB racing league. It's done a couple times last season when it first came in. It ruined.
Sometimes short fuels you when you need it to overfuel, if anything. Your top three under a blanket here at Homestead Miami Speedway. This is perfect. This is absolute cinema right now. The drama, the storylines, the hits, the bangs. And these top three are left to fight it out. Oh, and don't look now. Jose De Leo is only a few seconds back now of the Division 2 race leader, as here we go for Division 1. Ken Copeland and Mark Reynolds, they were side by side into turn 1. Reynolds wins the battle for now. But there's Nathan Medina, and there's Jose De Leo. They're only about a corner apart, and that Mustang is catching.
Mustang's really coming to life for the end of this race. It's what you need. You got 5.5 minutes left. All the effort you can put in now, put it in right now.
And realistically, if he can make up about 2 seconds, he can get into the draft and make the rest up on the oval.
Yeah, because the bad thing for Medina right now is I think he's out of the draft right now unless this lap car, Adam Brockway, starts to fall back off of Ken Copeland here, but I don't know. This is going to be a really close battle for Division 2 as the Division 1 overall battle is getting even closer.
No worries about Ignacio Casagnin behind. He's about 7 seconds back. It's just these three for the race win. And you don't see many brown cars in iRacing. Certainly not this shade of brown. I'm not sure why this shade of brown, but boy, does it make a statement, and they are quick.
I totally agree with you. I don't think I've ever actually seen that shade of brown in iRacing ever before, honestly. I don't even know if I've ever actually seen it in real life racing. But it looks fast, so I like it. Maybe I'll switch my Porsche to brown. maybe make me faster.
That's one way to look at it. Ignacio Castagnin, David Schwartz, Lucas Souza, Scott Kimbrough, all still in a line waiting for an opportunity to pass. And I think in large, they're waiting for the last lap or so. They're waiting for the end of this race.
I don't know. This is the closest Schwartz has ever been to Ignacio. I think he's going to try to send it here going to turn 1.
See our leaders make it through turn 1 into turn 2. How about fourth, fifth, and sixth?
He lifted. I was watching. I saw the RPM start to come back a little bit. So you could be totally right that maybe they are waiting for the last lap because they're not really catching the leaders. So put all your effort on that last lap, as actually that is coming here sooner than what we thought it was.
So ATVO expects 48 laps. We're on lap 45 and we're in lap traffic. And this is really the first lap traffic we've seen all day today. Everybody said, oh, we're going to see lap traffic throughout the course of the race. We're going to see lappers be a problem. Not until the last 3 minutes, apparently.
And this will hold up people so much. People don't understand how tough it is, especially for getting a GT3 car. You're on the same speed level. It's not like a GTP where you're able to just fly around them. You have the same speed as them. Maybe not the same consistency, but overall speed, you do have the same speed as we're looking right now. Rayleigh's having a struggle bus to catch up to this lap car. Luckily enough, those lappers letting him go by. But if we have a lapper that wants to stay on the lead lap, he could have put a battle and made it so it's really difficult to pass him. Ooh!
Carvalho runs into a problem. There's Dean Kerr spun around it. There's Kerr. Oh my gosh! How did they get by? Dean Kerr trying to get back going. Thank you. Hold it over there. If anything, just tow. Well, maybe you can back up now. Missing your chance. You're missing your chance, Dean. Back it up. Back it up. Back it up.
Careful, careful, careful.
He's trying to find reverse. He might be stalling the car, honestly. Got a chance. Back it up here, Dean. Right now. Well, there we go. Craziness ensuing in the final couple of laps here at Miami. We'll have 2 laps to go, I believe, when we get back around to the stripe. Maybe 1. Maybe 1. Here's Thomas Rayleigh. It's going to be close.
That lap car put a big gap between Carvalho and Ray. So any idea that Carvalho had, he needs to at least catch up. But I don't know. I think Rayleigh is on the rails.
It's going to be 2 to go here. Look at the flag stand. 2 laps to go. No white flag yet. We're going to get that extra lap. That could throw these guys into a problem with fuel. An extra lap by about 10 seconds. That's crazy.
I don't know. I think Rayleigh is going to be putting the foot down and trying to get through, but Carvalho has seemed to have a little bit better of catch-up pace. It's kind of fun. It's good. I'm hungry now.
Andy Miller getting passed by a couple of these lead lap cars. See Paulo flash him in. Lets him stay in line. Paulo Gaday has caught these guys very impressively. But it's now a battle for second. Yannick Steinhoff in the back end of Bruce De Carvalho. I think De Carvalho is going to play blocker rather, for Thomas Rayleigh at this point.
I don't really think you need to. I think for Rayleigh, he's gone. As of right now, try to hold at your second place. A 1-2 for this team would be amazing.
Into the final 10 seconds. Here we go. Officially, white flag will be out. Brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams. There it is by Barney the Flagman. One more time around at Miami. A battle for second developing between De Carvalho and Steinhoff. And Steinhoff shoves it around the outside of turn 3. He lost a lot of time there at 4, trying to get back down to the racing line. It's going to be a last-ditch drafting effort for Yannick Steinhoff to get second.
I think he's going to have to send it going into here, into 8. He's going to have to get a good run here. Gets a little loose off the corner. I don't know. I don't know if he has enough run. He's
send here, really David Schwartz on the inside of Ignacio Castagnin. They'll be alongside each other up front. Yannick Steinhoff too far back. We'll watch him out of turn 8 here. He might have a run. Ignacio defends. And down in Division 1, Nathan Medina's got no company. Thomas Rayleigh as well, out front with no company at the very front of the field by a second over his teammate. Several cars pitting at the last second, but not Thomas Rayleigh. Thomas Rayleigh is going to be a winner once again in the North American Racing League, this time at Miami.
What a finish.
Castagnine holds on over Schwartz by 33 one-thousandths of a second, but here you go with Jose De Leo in the distance. Nathan Medina rounds NASCAR turns 3 and 4, and he will officially, finally take that win. 3 races in, that's all it took him.
What a great drive by your points leader in Division 2, and what a great finish for...
De Leo's out of fuel.
Oh no! I was just about to say he was doing so good.
Can he get to the line before Salapunas? It's going to be close. Okay, he got there. He got there over Salapunas. That was really, really close. Jose De Leo will hang on a second. The points don't change much there. He only lost 1 extra spot. Here's a couple of cars coming around to the flag. Briscoe, Turcotte, and DeMarco. Wow.
That was crazy.
Trying to catch my breath and breathe and just realize everything that's gone on there at the end. Everybody comes across the line now, and race results will of course be unofficial, but iRacing will officialize the points anyways, the positions. And then race admins will have to do their job. Oh my gosh. That driver of the day vote is still live. You can make your votes. Thomas Rayleigh's leading it. But you can still make your votes there. Let's take a look back and get a look at the unofficial race results this evening. Oh man, I'm still trying to breathe. Let's look back. Unofficial race results here from Miami. Of course, Thomas Rayleigh up top. He gets the win. Second place, his teammate, Bruce De Carvalho. Third, how about Yannick Steinhoff? He hangs on for Ride Sim Sport. A win at Portugal, a top 3 here at Miami. A great start to the points for Yannick. It's Ignacio Castagnine in 4th. Finally a good week for him. David Schwartz in 5th. Then Scott Kimbrough, Paulo Godoy, and Scott Reister, your top 8. Then Ken Copeland and Mark Reynolds come through for 9th and 10th.
Finishing 11th, you have your overall winner, not overall winner, you have your division leader for Division 2, Nathan Medina, finishing 11th. In 12th, you have Sam Soyd. 13th, Bobby Flack. 14th, Jose De Leo. In 15th, you have Nicolas Salapuntas. 16th, Lucas Finco. 17th, Santiago Sardina. 18th, Christian Briscoe. After that heavy contact, he jumped. I was insane. And then 19th, you have Dominic Turcotte, and then 20th, you have Alex DeMarco.
Finishing 21st this evening, Lucas Souza, 1 lap down. Had a good start to the day. I believe he had to come back in for fuel. Kevin Peake in 22nd. Edgar Ruiz down there in 23rd spot. Scott Angelo, Chris Winstone, complete your top 25. Austin Tiller, Jeff Fleischman, Andy Ray Miller, all in a row there, 1 lap down, just ahead of Adam Brockway and Dean Kerr to complete your top 30.
Yeah, and looking at 31st, you have Chao Trin. In 32nd, you have Miguel Colon. After having such a strong race today, tough to see him be a lap down after running out of fuel on the pit road entrance. Then 2 laps down, you have Jake Browder in 33rd. And in 34th, you have Robert Guadagnoli. And 3 laps down, you have Philip Badurka. And then 10 laps down, you have Thorsten Ulrich after a unbelievable packet loss. I can't believe that happened to him. And then in 37th, you have Sean Patterson. 38th, you have Ismail Ali. 39th, you have Richard Delgado. And then you have Craig Gray cutting his night early in 40th.
Final 3 on the field, Kevin Gill, Jay Fuller, and Timothy Patterson. That does it for all 43 cars, and Timothy Patterson did not make the start of the race in car 69. Unfortunately, he did not join us at the green flag. Thomas Rayleigh comes home with the race win. Let's dial up our race winner. A whole lot of what's the word? Personality. That's what I'm looking for. A whole lot of personality in this picture, Thomas. A whole lot of personality in the tracks that you win at. I believe your first win, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that came at Detroit, right?
Yeah, Detroit. I think that was in P Cup.
Yeah, so Detroit there, Miami here, a whole lot of personality in the tracks you win at, along with the way you get things done. I love it. And these brown race cars, very unorthodox. I mean, I love everything about you, Thomas Rayleigh. Congratulations, though, on the race win. How did you get it done?
Appreciate it. Thanks, Andrew. Just kind of hang in there. I had almost written off the week because the pace was so close with everybody. I've not had great luck in the races so far this season, but the pace was so close for everybody, and the luck turned my way this time. Something clicked. I was able to keep the tires in a good window. Never really was pushing very hard. I mean, it was a nice, easy drive. And then when Thorsten dropped off, it was cake from there.
And we saw a lot of drivers pit at the end of the race. Problems with the fueling, auto fuel, whatever it was. How do you guys calculate your fuel over at CCC? How do you guys get it right?
I'm using RaceLab apps. It gives me seconds left of fuel, and I had at the pits. I hit the engine sputtered right when I stopped, and at the end, I had maybe 5 seconds of fuel left.
Wow, so down that close to a margin, that's impressive. And you're today's driver of the day as well. I feel like you also got today's lucky performance, lucky break of the day. Everything lined up for you perfectly, from missing the crash earlier between Cologne and Ulrich to just getting in position at the right place at the right time to take advantage of Ulrich dropping out, and of course him beating you out of the pit lane, you passing him back. That's got to feel that much better, right? You get all these accolades, all these awards, and you get the race win. It just makes it that much sweeter.
It feels great. I'm very happy how it all turned out. It's best race of the season. So happy to have Bruce on the podium with me. I don't know if Bruce needs an invite to the Discord. If anybody can send him one, he'd be happy to jump on as well.
There is one in one of the channels there. Tag him under it.
I would appreciate that. Yeah, it's I think the first time I came here with Porsche Cup, I had a different teammate that came with me for a 1-2. So it just seems to kind of work like that. We come together as a team when I end up doing well.
Well, the Cross Continental Collective on top of the North American Racing League today. Congratulations, Thomas. It's good to talk to you as always. Hopefully we're talking to you on the mall.
Yeah, thanks.
That's Thomas Rayleigh with today's race win, and his teammate Bruce De Carvalho is ready for you, Mason.
Yes, and your second place finish tonight overall and second in Division 1. First of all, I want to say congratulations, Bruce, on your absolutely expertise of a race tonight. How were the tires tonight? We really were talking about it earlier in the race. Were they were getting faster than what you were expecting, or did they seem like they held on throughout the race?
First of all, thanks for having me, and thanks to everyone who makes the series go, like the Pit Stop TV people, plus all the admins that work on it. But yes, the tyres were obviously a significant concern. All we can do is just try keep the temperatures down as best you can. No wheel spin, no slides, and just try keep as close as you can to the person in front of you.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree with you. And looking at next week, this Le Mans is a whole different track. How do you change your drivability, especially for a track that has 10 corners to a track that has way more like 21, 22, 23 corners?
Well, it's going to be a lot of practice for me, that's for sure, because I'm not really that good at that track. So I basically just have to put some time in, and just you're going to have to work with other competitors in terms of drafting and fuel saving, and then hopefully you come out with the best position you can. I mean, without any incidents or crashing anybody out or anything like that. You know, that's all you can do. Try your best.
Perfect. I want to say congratulations tonight on your P2, and that should bump you up really good in the points here tonight. And Andrew, it looks like Nathan Medina is ready for you.
Yes, he is. We thank Bruce for his time, and we'll move on down to Nathan Medina, who wins the division number 2. And it was a relatively easy drive in class for you, Nathan, but you had Division 1 drivers. How did you all race long? What's that pressure like in the race?
Oh man, it was nervous. A lot of guys, I am Division 2, and a lot of guys are Division 1 around me. So, they're not your race, but they are your race, the way the points work. So every point, every position is a point more than the previous guy. So I still had to fight for my spot and earn it. It was all about surviving lap 1. I know a lot of Division 1 guys were just trying to get by me as soon as possible, but I was hoping the carnage would kind of space out, it would die down a little bit, and I can go into saving fuel. And that's exactly what happened. And once that happened, I was kind of just in cruise control from there and just trying to make sure I made no mistakes.
You come in with a points lead, not by a whole lot, but it's going to expand after tonight for sure. How do you manage this over the course of the season now, going into a racetrack like Le Mans next week? That's not going to be easy, but how do you cope with that?
Le Mans is one of my strongest tracks that's on the schedule. I love racing Le Mans and special events on other leagues, like long endurance races. I was actually more nervous about the first 3 races because I've actually never raced these tracks before. So it was a new track to learn. It takes time, and plus with putting the pressure on it being a league, and a lot of these guys are pretty consistent and quick. Had a lot of pressure. I got by these ones with a P2, P3, and now a P1. So I'm pretty confident with the rest of the season, especially the Le Mans, that I can just kind of do what I do best and get some good points and be consistent. And hopefully the guys that are close to me in points, make some mistakes and makes it a little bit easier in the championship run at the end of the season.
Well, it's good to talk to you for sure. Congratulations on the race win here in Division number 2, and I think more are set to come. Congratulations again. Hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Nathan Medina with the race win down in Division number 2. Good to talk to him for sure. A solid effort out of that Porsche driver, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that Maxwell driver up front and possibly winning more races. Might even get a promotion mid-season. He's shaping up for it at this point. I mean, you come into tonight with a points lead. He's only going to expand that over Mitch Buenaventura, who I don't believe was even... I could be wrong. Let me check. No, Mitch Buenaventura. So he's going to take this race as a drop. That's incredible, actually. I didn't even realize that until now.
You know what? I didn't either, so you were not alone here. But I do want to say congratulations tonight to Medina. First win of the season. I mean, you always feel so nervous when you don't have your first win, and it's almost dangerous to hear that Le Mans is one of his strongest tracks. He's been showing a lot of pace at these first 3 tracks, even though I'm pretty sure he said that he's never even really touched them. So that's very scary for a lot of the drivers, especially hearing how fast he is supposedly at Le Mans.
And that does it for us this evening from Homestead Miami Speedway. Let's take a look at what's upcoming for us here at Pit Stop TV. Next up, we stay right here at Homestead Miami. We go oval racing, though, with the with the BRB Racing League, the BRB Butt Kicker Cup Series. They've got their podcast happening now, the Holler Podcast. After this broadcast, we invite you to go join them there. Tell them we sent you. See what's going on in the BRB Racing League and what they have to say. But they are going racing on April 1st, Tuesday, for their season finale. And as covered earlier, Mason, you're the season champion over there. That has got to feel good, and I can't even imagine what it feels like. I've never won a championship in a league. What does it feel like?
It really doesn't feel like anything. I mean, that sounds really snotty to me, but I think your first one is what you really want. Obviously it feels good, going into the last race, already knowing that you're going to be the champion. I mean, you want that. You want to be able to feel that pressure just be released off your shoulders. And now that means I just can go have fun at Homestead, which is what I want. I want to go have some fun for the last race, especially since I really won't be running the full season next season. So I am super excited, but it felt a lot better for the first one. I can definitely tell you that.
2 championships in a row for you now, and be riding off into the sunset this coming Tuesday. And you see the sunset there in the picture even. Going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to that race for sure here at Pit Stop TV. Then we head out to Le Mans for the 4th race and the final race of this opening leg of the North American Racing League. Going to be a lot of fun there. We always love heading out to France. We'll go there again later this year for the Majors 24 in June, but this will be a nice warm-up race for that. And then, of course, Sunday, we head out to Charlotte Motor Speedway next Sunday, not this Sunday, next Sunday, for the Major Series World 600. You can catch all this and more where, Mason?
Can go and check this out at www.pitstoptv.com, Facebook at pitstoptv, Instagram at pit_stop_tv, Twitch at pit_stop_tv, YouTube at pitstoptv, X at pitstoptv_, and then TikTok. I have it pulled up, pitstoptv1. Make sure you go and follow us and go and give us our likes and our follows.
Yeah, do what Mason's telling you to do. We appreciate it every step of the way. We really do. I appreciate the social media help, and it does a lot for us here at Pit Stop TV. So anything you can do for us there is appreciated, and that does it for us for race coverage here at Miami. It's been a lot of fun. Homestead Miami Speedway is always a fun racetrack to go to, whether it's on the oval or on the road course. Love this place a bunch, but that will do it for us. A big thank you to the North American Racing League partners, Maradness, JS Consulting, and of course, we cannot forget Screw Compressor Service Incorporated. They do a whole bunch for us here at the channel and not quite at the channel, but allowing us to do these broadcasts for sure. It's not without their help. And a big thank you to those who help us at the channel now. Whiplash SimCams, ATVO, CC's Business, Cody Williams Design, Lucky Performance, and the North American Racing League, all helping us out to do these broadcasts and keep these broadcasts fun and exciting for those of you watching. That will do it for us this evening from Homestead Miami Speedway. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you all next time here on Pit Stop TV.